Quite frankly, it's been a chaotic and frantic weekend, both on and off the pitch. We've had weather-based postponements. We've had 7-goal games. We've had own goals galore. We've had everything, absolutely everything this weekend. And here to discuss the very best of it is Josh. How are you, mate?
Oh, well, thank you. How are you?
I'm not too bad. I'm not too bad. Only because we haven't played yet. Of course, with West Ham still yet to play in the massive El Sacico tomorrow night against Wolves. Well, the weekend started with a postponement as the Merseyside derby was called off. And I don't know if it's just you or me, Josh, but I'm really fancying that game to be just chucked in midweek, just before the end of the season, a final test for Liverpool if they are really going to win the title. So that game was chalked off before we started. So we're going to go straight to Villa Park, where winless in 8, Villa finally got the job done, beating Southampton by a goal to 0. Josh, all yours?
Yeah, well, we beat Brentford in a week as well, so it's back-to-back wins now finally after a really poor run of form. And I wouldn't say either were particularly convincing. I'd say the Brentford one midweek, we looked a lot better going forward again. And we looked much better on the transition, which was what we were like last season. That was good to see. However, we still look quite shaky defensively, which does worry me a little bit. And we did keep the first clean sheet since I think it's about 8 weeks yesterday, just our second in the league of the season, and just shows how poor we've been defensively really. And yeah, I wouldn't say we were convincing by any stretch. I thought that, to be honest, first half they controlled the game. I know it's Southampton and they do like to have a lot of the ball, but I still thought at home against bottom of the league, I'd like to see it be a bit more intense and just have a bit more control over the game. However, we did take the lead through the run, just putting himself about, making himself a nuisance, and that's the way we got the goal. And then second half, I don't really think they caused any problems. They sort of just they controlled the game, but didn't really threaten us at all. And last 10 minutes, they just went for it. And then we must have had about 3 or 4 clear-cut chances on the break, which we somehow managed to just completely just mess up everyone. Ollie Watkins come on last half an hour, he could have had a hat-trick. I thought his decision-making was really poor in the final third. But eventually he managed to crawl over the line and just about, even though we could have had about 4 or 5 in the last 10 minutes. So I wouldn't say it was totally convincing, scraping over the line at home to bottom of the league. But when you're on a run like we have been, I suppose it's just about getting the job done and going back to basics. So I'm happy overall. As for Southampton, I think, I don't know, it's looking quite bleak for them. I think it's 5 points now from, is it 15? It's not ideal at all. I think unless something drastic changes, I really don't see how they're going to get out from it. Get out of it. I said it after about 5 games, just playing that football in this league with the players they've got, it's just not going to work, I don't think.
And I think, you called quite early that Southampton were going to go, and you probably are going to be right. It's just the way they play. It's the suicide. I mean, they aren't good enough to play the brand of football and playing out for the back what they want to do, and it causes them problems week in, week out, and it's why they're losing football matches. I'm just going to mute you, Josh, because a bit of feedback coming back, but I'm not sure what's happening there. First of all, before we go any further, Fathead's absolutely right. Our thoughts are with Mikel Antonio this weekend. Obviously, the news that we received yesterday afternoon of the car incident and crash that he was involved in. Our thoughts, we've now heard today that he has surgery on it and hopefully in a stable condition. So our thoughts and prayers go out to him and his family and everybody involved at this very, very difficult time, and of course we all wish him well. Fathead says lots of talk that Ange will be sacked in the morning. If he's true, do we move fast for him? And what about Ashworth for Stein? Where some big claims there, Fathead. I don't think Spurs will sack Ange, I'll be honest. Unfortunately, we don't have Sean here tonight to analyse the Spurs side of things. And Ashworth's gone. Will we keep Stein? Probably. But interesting though, Fathead. Josh's granddad's in. I hope you are well. Stormy up almighty. So still very windy, but nothing compared to yesterday. Well, there we go. Same here as South Wales. Slow recovery. Again, absolutely sharky. Hope you are well. Thank you very much indeed for joining us. Michael, evening Jake and Josh, Liverpool's title to lose now. It seems that way. Shark says awful news about Antonio yesterday. Absolutely. Fatty says, don't you see underestimate Chelsea? I mean, yeah, we'll come on to Chelsea a little bit later, but they are cracking on. Well done, Josh and Villa. We needed you to beat Southampton. There we go. Everybody's happy. But there we go. Next up, we're going to go to Selhurst Park and another nail in the coffin of Manchester City's title hopes as they fail to beat Crystal Palace, Josh.
Yeah, City, it's just been a really strange run for them. They usually hit a blip around this part of the season, but in this season it's obvious to see that it's a bit more than a blip. I think, and obviously everybody knows Aaron Rodri it affects him so massively. He just completely changes the whole way they play. And that's really showing. I remember this time last year they had the little blip where I think they won one in about 5, and that was when Rodri was suspended and then injured. And as soon as he come back, second half of the season, that's when they went on that unbelievable unbeaten streak, managed to win the league. But obviously with Rodri out for the season, I just don't see how they're going to get back into it now. I think they're on 12 points adrift, I believe they are now after yesterday. And I think if they had a full team, players like Rodri, as I say, I think I probably would still back him second half of the season. I wouldn't rule out at all. But I just think this season, that blip that they usually have around this point is just so much more than it. And I just really don't see how they're going to recover second half, to be honest. The midfield, I just don't think they've got any legs there anymore. I think Gundogan, I think he's got 34, 35 now. He's not going to be the player he was. Every time I've watched him, he just looks like he can hardly run anymore. He's not the same player he had before he went to Barcelona at all. Kevin De Bruyne is still important to him, but he's barely ever fit anymore. And he's also getting on a bit as well. And there's rumours I think he could be leaving at the end of the season. Edison, he's not been as good. I think they dropped him actually for Ortega to back up. Haaland hasn't been as good since he started the season. Well, I don't think he's scored much recently, got on the weekend, but he's not been anywhere near the levels he was in the first 5 or 6 games of the season. So yeah, they did beat Forest 3-0 in the week, but apart from that, it's been a really, really poor run for them. They look so open as well, which they don't normally do. So it's not great for him. I think Kyle Walker as well, that's a big issue for him. He also looks like he's not got the legs he used to when they used to heavily rely on his pace to get them out of situations, and now they can't do that either. I think they hold that high line, but Kyle Walker, he always sort of used to drop a few yards back and just rely on his pace to get them out of trouble. That can't happen anymore. So I think there's a few things that have just hindered City this season and just stopped them from being in the title race, really. Obviously, the elephant in the room is the 115 charges as well. We don't know what's going to happen with that this season. Will they be punished? Probably not heavily, to be honest, but I think that case will end this season, so we'll see what happens with that. But I think whatever happens now, I just don't see how they're going to catch Liverpool from here. It's really not been a great run for them at all. As for Crystal Palace, I think they're slowly picking up recently. Performances seem to be gradually improving. They took 2 points off us the other week away from home. I think they beat Tottenham a few weeks ago as well. They're slowly improving. I think they should pull out with the relegation battle sooner rather than later. They should do with the quality they've got. But yeah, as for City, it's really not looking good for them. And I don't see how they're going to come back from here in the tight race.
No, it seems like it's all but done for City in that extent. Let's take some comments. Sharky says it doesn't sound promising in regards to him playing again. Hope I'm wrong. Yeah, absolutely. All we can do is just hope for the very best with Mikel at this point. 2-0 up, then conceded 4. So Spurs, you will come on to that a little bit later on. Larry, I hope you are well. Michael, I thought Amorim would struggle at Man U. The team is average at best. He's not a miracle worker. Peter, are you well? Good to see you. Hit the like button if you haven't already. Could be a few managers sacked this season. Managers, they could be. They could well be. And I think one close to us could be very, very shortly. Josh's granddad says, I realize that you won't be discussing the postponed Everton vs Liverpool game, but I can imagine near the end of the season, when we have to play this game, it would make it may be the 3 points for us to stay up. It may be the 3 points for you to stay up, and it may be the 3 points to decide the title race. It just thickens the plot in that extent. Tomorrow is a must-win. It is. Absolutely. Right then, let's go next to people we're just talking about in the chat. Old Trafford, Manchester United 2, Nottingham Forest 3. A couple of minutes of madness for Andre Onana opened the door for Nottingham Forest, and they took full advantage as they sit fifth in the Premier League, I think. And Manchester United looking, as somebody said in the chat, as average as ever, Josh.
Yeah, Forest, I mean, what a season they're having. I think I saw yesterday it's the first time they've ever beat Liverpool and Man United away in the same season. Yeah, they've just got quick players in the break, a striker who can score goals, a solid back line. And that's all it really takes. Really, it sounds simple, but and a good manager as well. And not signing 40 players in a window. And that's all it's took to go from being in a relegation scrap 2 years in a row to challenging for top four. Obviously, they'll fall away eventually, but I do think they've definitely got an outside shot at Europe now. They look really good in the break. They're hard to beat. Milenkovic, the Serbian centre half, they signed this summer. He's sort of a bit like a Vidic, obviously nowhere near as good, but he's sort of that type of player, Serbian skinhead, you know what I mean? Just hard as nails. So yeah, they're really good as a unit, tight at the back, hard to beat. Murillo as well. I know there's quite a few of the big teams after him. He's a very highly rated Brazilian centre half. They've got decent goalie as well, Sells, after having about 4 different keepers in the first 2 years. So yeah, I think now they've finally just settled into life in the Premier League and not signed 40 players a window. I think they're doing very well. Chris Wood as well, I think he's one of the top scorers in the league. It's unbelievable how well he's doing. But yeah, it just shows you what can happen if you're just good as a unit, fast players in the break and a striker can score goals. What can happen really? You look at teams like Everton, and you think that the squad really on paper is not that difference, and then you just see what they're doing. So it's a bit strange, really. It shows what a good manager can do. A good system. They're absolutely flying. But as for United, it's still just not looking good for them. Amarin, it looks like the new manager bounce might be over already, to be honest. The three at the back, I just feel like they look so open with it. Apart from them three, it sort of looks like they don't really have anyone back. Obviously, they've got Amad Diallo and then Dallo as the wing backs, but then Amad, he sort of plays more like a winger and he doesn't really track back. So that's one problem you've got. And then the two in the middle, Ugarte, I haven't really seen what he offers so far. Just looks a bit slow and quite sideways and backwards. They paid a lot of money for him, so that's not ideal. Rashford's been used more up front than out wide since Amarin's come in. He has looked a lot better and sharper, and then he didn't even start yesterday. Højlund and Xerxes, Højlund, he did score yesterday, but I'm still not fully convinced by him for the price they paid for him. So I just still look so open, which is what's concerning me. I mean, you're playing the three at the back, but I'd say apart from them, it just looks like the other seven are just in attack. Attacking with 7 and defending with 3, which is not great.
The fact and reality of it is, Josh, is that you've got a Man United side there, blindly average, right? Despite the amount of money they've spent, whatever way you look at it, whichever way you try and dissect it, they are plainly average. And this guy's not going to work miracles, right? And this is a pure and one of the finest examples of this that you're going to see. Forest, decent side this season. They've played some really, really nice stuff. But again, it's another bleak afternoon for Manchester United. Now, I've just had a look because people were having a little chat in the chat about Goodison Park in the last game there. And I've just looked. Everton are due to be away from home on the final day of the season. So currently, the last ever games we played at Goodison Park will be against Southampton on the 18th of May, which leaves that week between the last 2 official game weeks. There's midweek. There's that Wednesday night, right, where if the Premier League had a bit of sense and actually, tried to help Everton out a bit, they'd place Everton versus Liverpool on that Wednesday night for the final ever game at Goodison Park. Josh, could you imagine? I don't know how close you live to Goodison Park, but could you imagine the noise in that place that night, especially if they need to stop? If they win, they've stopped Liverpool winning the title.
Yeah, that would be mental. I think almost every Everton and Liverpool fan would much rather it be a night game than 12:30 on a Saturday morning, to be honest. And that's one of the worst kick-off times in football. So yeah, I think every Everton and Liverpool fan would much rather, even if it is midweek, would much rather be under the lights. So yeah, the atmosphere will be incredible. It was last season, so it is every derby. So for the last one, that would be incredible, really. So yeah, I would like to see it around them, but not the Premier League. They probably just move it to like a midweek in January or February. Or something.
They'll ruin it somehow, won't they?
Yeah, most likely. But no, that would be good if they could do that, but I can't see it.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's take some of your comments and see what you guys are saying. So yeah, last Merseyside derby goes on part of great old school football ground. Absolutely. Look, yeah, we're going there. I think we're there in March. I think we are 15th of March. We play Everton away, and yeah, looking forward to going there for the last time. Proper ground. Chris, thank you very much indeed. Good point for you boys today at home to Brighton. Good week overall. 4 points to come out of it. Amarim out. There we go. There we go. Floppy Loppy out if you lose tomorrow. Yes, if we lose, absolutely. Even if we win, I think he should go. Early doors. Hope you are well. Thanks for joining us. I think he will. Yeah, just about. Van Nistelrooy will keep you up. I'd agree with that one for sure. But yeah, there we go. Right, we will go next to the Craven Cottage. We'll go to Craven Cottage, where it was Fulham 1, Arsenal 1 a little bit earlier on today. Smith Rowe versus Saka, and again, the only team that didn't drop points this weekend was Chelsea. We'll come to a minute. City dropped points. Arsenal dropped points. Liverpool didn't play. This feels like an opportunity for Arsenal and an opportunity scuppered, Josh.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's 100% 2 points drop for them. But if you watch the game, I'm not sure they really deserved it. For first half, although Fulham didn't threaten them at all, can't really think of any clear-cut chances Arsenal had. The one that Saka had was just more of a half chance, really. Made the keeper work from a tight angle, and that's sort of about the only really shot I can think of they had first half. And then the second half, they were a bit better. But again, they didn't really test the keeper much at all. So I don't think they deserved it. But it's 100% 2 points dropped. As for the disallowed goal at the end, I think it was offside, and it's embarrassing how Martinelli is offside from there. He just doesn't need to be at all. He's quick. It's just literally a ball into feet. It's just pure laziness. He doesn't need to be offside there at all, and that could cost his team the title at the end of the season. Who knows? Them 2 points, but they dropped there. It could cost his team the title. Just really lazy. Didn't need to be offside at all. But I think Ward did get it right on that one, just about. The first goal they scored was also just almost offside as well. They had to check it. It was Robinson's foot, which ended up playing to Lebron. So yeah, although it's 2 points dropped, it still could have been a lot worse for them. But I'm not sure. Is it 9 points now? At 6 points, but with Liverpool's game in hand, I'm not sure. I really can't see them catching them. I thought maybe after Liverpool dropped points in a week and Arsenal won, and then I'm thinking Liverpool got postponed. If Arsenal win today, that's 4 points. They're definitely still in it. But I'm not sure now. It's 9 points if Liverpool win the game now, and then I don't see how they're going to catch them from there, to be honest. But you never know. It's certainly not over. I don't think
it's far from done yet, Josh. I wouldn't write them off that easy.
No, I'm not. I wouldn't quite write them off, but I definitely think that's a big chance missed there. I wouldn't say Liverpool have been convincing in most for me. I'd say the City one, they play very well, and when they've had to play well, they have. But a lot of the times they've just been crawling over the line as well. I don't think they've blew many teams away, so they haven't fully convinced me. But I just think the gap's that big. Definitely say they'd have to be favourites now. And I just don't see where Arsenal are going to claw it back from. They're just far too inconsistent this year. Yeah, I think Paul Merson said it. Like they're a strong squad, but as soon as a few injuries creeping. It just looks like an average team. Like today, you've got Ben White missing, and you've got Gabriel missing, you've got Calafiori missing, and then all of a sudden the back line, you've got players like Kivior in again, and it just looks sort of like an average team all of a sudden. And you've got Partey full back. So I don't know. I really don't see how they're gonna claw it back. I hope they do. I couldn't have Liverpool winning it, but I'm just not sure at the minute. Yeah, I think Chelsea are 4 points behind now, and I just don't think they'll be able to carry that on. So I hate to say it, but I do think it's Liverpool to lose now.
Yeah, I'm in agreement. I think for them to lose it from here, it is possible. By no means, it is wildly possible. But yeah, they are firm favourites. People talking about our potential new manager. I go for Carrick. If we get a new manager, I would like to see the Brent. I'd absolutely love that, Thomas Frank. But would he leave Brentford for West Ham? I doubt it. Peter aligns with my viewpoint absolutely. Can't stand both Arsenal or Liverpool, but want Liverpool to win the league. So Muller corner. Rice doesn't. Absolutely, I agree with that wholeheartedly. Talks with Allegri apparently, but not until the new season though. If it's to be believed, yeah. Apparently he doesn't want to come midway through the season. Everybody having a little chat about it in the chat. Yes, it's an interesting one, and yeah, tomorrow night may probably decide it. We end Super Sunday, Josh. Spurs 3, Chelsea 4. A bonkers game of football with Cucurella misfooting twice inside the opening 10-15 minutes, and then 4 goals on the bounce for Chelsea sees them take all 3 points. Now, Sean isn't here to try and defend Ange and try and defend Spurs this week, but I can't help but think, Josh. So I mean, those 2 tackles for those penalties are some of the most naive and ridiculous defending I think I have ever seen, and they are literally the architects of their own downfall week in, week out.
Yeah, that second one, especially that second penalty, that's just unforgivable, really. I mean,
the attacker was going nowhere. He was facing the corner flag.
Palmer, where is he actually going there? He's got his back to goal. It's just pure stupidity. I mean, I'd fine a player for that. I don't want to sound like Roy Keane here, but that's just unforgivable. 10 minutes to go when you don't need a goal behind, that is unforgivable. I'd be disappointed if a young lad who's just come on and made his debut done that. That's just really, really stupid. But yeah, overall, I mean, one of the best games of the season. It was end-to-end stuff. Spurs, they started really well. Obviously, I think they could have not fallen up first 15 minutes. Looked like Chelsea were rattled. They had a kick first 15, and then after that, I think Chelsea sort of dominated the ball for the rest of the game. But then Spurs still had chances on the transition throughout it. It was just like a basketball game, really. I think Chelsea did get away with a 1-0 Caicedo in the first half. I think he could have easily seen red. And that was a nasty challenge. He stood it up, and he's gone quite high as well. I thought he should have gone, and I don't even think he got booked for it. I think VAR said it was an excessive force or something. Yeah, I don't understand it. He stood it up, and he's caught him.
It's those sort of things where they say it's not enough excessive force, or when somebody's holding a shirt in the box, it's like they don't hold the shirt for long enough. Like they make up to go along.
Yeah, no, they do. It's an embarrassing, really. The officiating, it's getting worse and worse. But yeah, overall, I thought the game is ridiculous. It was just end to end. I thought Tottenham, as I say, first 20 minutes, it could have been 3 or 4. And Chelsea after that, they sort of dictated it, but then they lose it, and Tottenham still looked like they could have got more on the break, and he just didn't take the chances. Son, second half, he had a good chance at 2-2 and missed. And then Chelsea, you could just see it coming. He punished them eventually. The penalties from Palmer, just cool as ice. The second one especially, just dinking it down the middle like that. I don't think he's ever missed a penalty, which is ridiculous really for his age. And he absolutely saved my fantasy football this week as well. I think I was on something like 18 points, and I ended up getting 30 odd. So yeah, he completely saved that. But now Spurs, just how open you are, it's incredible really. They usually do perform well against the big teams this season. They beat Man City, they beat Man United, they battered us at home. And then it's usually the teams like, I don't know, Fulham or Ipswich, they get beat to. So I thought first 10 minutes when they made it 2-0, I did think they'd win. I fancied them today. I thought this is the type of game that Spurs would be up for and they'd win, which they were, but it's just they're so open at the back, it's incredible. Romero as well, just come back, getting injured after 10 minutes, trying to do some skip Rabona in his own box or something. It was just that was that sort of summed it up for him really. Van der Ven also going off second half. He's also just come back. So that also went ideal for them. But even with them two on the pitch, they're just so open. That ball every time, just from Lavia off Nandez into Jackson's feet or into Palmer's feet, just the gap between the midfield and the defence was huge. That same ball was on every single time. And then they just get it to Palmer or Jackson, and then they go out wide to Neto or Sancho, and they go from there every single time today. They were just doing that. So open Tottenham, I don't get it. They're fun to watch. I'll give them that, but I can't believe how open they are. I just can never see him getting above about 4 playing that way, and never see him winning and playing that way, because they will always concede. Just so open. They're the best team in the league to watch, fair enough, but I can get why they're a bit frustrated now, because how open they are is ridiculous, and I think the bottom half still. So yeah, I thought after they beat Man City, if you just find that consistency, they'd be all right and they'd probably get top 4. But I don't think they've won since, and it's really concerning now just how bad they are at the back. Even with players like Van der Ven in today, they still conceded 3 before they went off. So yeah, it's not ideal for them. I wouldn't sack Ange yet. I mean, they've asked for good football. I mean, that's what they've got. You've got to give them more time. I think a few of them have gone a bit over the top of it. Someone on the radio before saying like he's disgrace and all this. I think that's a bit far. You've got to give them time. If you're going to moan and ask for good football, you've got to give them a bit more than 18 months. But no, I think how open they are is getting a bit concerning for them. But as for Chelsea, 4 points behind Liverpool now, I think. We probably would have to say they're in a tighter race, I suppose, because they're close to them, Arsenal and City are.
It's that sort of it's that sort of apprehension with everybody, isn't it? And yeah. I absolutely agree. I suppose they're in the title race now, and because it's such a surprise that they are where they are, Chelsea, and they just keep going, and wins like this more and more prove why they are cementing themselves in this title race. Spurs naive, Chelsea scintillating, barring the first 15 minutes. Maybe we need Larry the stat man in charge of West Ham. Who knows? North London never win anything. Absolutely. And I'd not have it any other way. Really good game of football show about Chelsea winning, but at least Spurs lost, absolutely. Even when the Spurs went 2-0 up, I still thought they wouldn't be able to hold on. Jealous for Chelsea as they have a good squad, and if they improve the keeper, they would be even better. Nice finish from Palmer with a second penalty with Panenka, which completely done Fraser Forster. He was stood up and basically taking the bite of the net before it even gone past him. Cucurella playing in clown boots for the first 15 minutes before swapping to actual football boots. Then he blamed the kit man. Chaos, absolute chaos. Chelsea will be title contenders in a couple of years. Young squad, it will only get better. Maresca has given Chelsea a playing style in the short space of time he's been there, unlike Lopetegui, absolutely. They are doing really well. Palmer got 30 points as my FPL captain. I am hunting you down, Larry. I have just had a look. I am hunting you down, absolutely. But there we go. So West Ham in action tomorrow night, and hopefully in the best case scenario we win and he gets sacked, to be totally honest, but I can't see that happening. Whatever happens, I'm just hoping for that change to be made. Josh, thank you very much indeed for joining me as always.
Oh, what is, mate?
I will see you next week. From me, come on, you Lions, up the video from Josh, and we'll see you soon. We're here on West Ham Official. Thank you very much, and goodbye.
Yeah, that's it.
Cheers, Josh. Thank you.